Still some races to go. Still have to watch JK Victory race. Still have to watch Kings County and Swinging Seniorita race. You know, the greedy Anthony says it was an okay day. Realistically, it was a good day. We had a pretty good day across the board. I'll give you a breakdown on why I was a little mad. It started off the entire day, put Tim's horse on the run, and he was a lock. As Steve likes to put it, a lead pipe cinch. He was a lock. And I'm coming up to the gate, and he's a little ornery, and the gate's going a little slower as I try to start to time him in, and it wasn't even that I got there, it wasn't the gate itself, it's that he just kind of shied away from the gate. And when I did, I checked him. I think if I had just left him alone, let him kind of carry to the inside of the gate, and then when the gate took off, just let him find himself, I would have been okay. And I wasn't. I put him on the run. I should have just come in a half a length late and fed him through, and he was a winner. Sure as I'm a foot tall, he was a winner. And I felt terrible because, it's Tim's horse, and it was a Stallion Series race. It was a big deal. Points, money. It was just, it started me off the night in a sour note, and I tried my best to recover. You kind of gotta listen to the voice in your head every time you walk up to the board to look at the next race. Turn the page, it's over. I know if it had been one of ours, I'd be like, yeah, it was my fault, I'm sorry. But when it happens to somebody else, especially a friend, it just bothers me that much more. So I did feel a little shitty after the first race, and then I'm trying to make up for it. I go out and go with, who was next? Tim was first, and then, I don't think it was Horn Player. Tim was in the second. Yeah, it was Horn Player. Next was Horn Player, again, from the rail. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to kill me. I got away probably where I should have, in the way I should have with her, that I didn't get away with Tim's horse. I ended up in a good spot, third over, attacking down the lane again. She was up a class. Her class didn't fill. This was a little bit higher. Same type of thing, just needs that bigger track. She's begging to get to a bigger track, and we're going to get her to one. I had one of our clients say, Anthony, I don't think Casual Breeze is the best place for her. You're probably right. You could be right. But that's where she's going. I want to get her on a big track. I think she's looking for some speed. I'd like to see her at the Meadowlands, and then it was Megan, actually, that said, don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but the Meadowlands is closing for two weeks, I think, or 3 weeks after 2 weeks, I think, after the Hambletonian. So there's that. Maybe it's more than that. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll get Horn Player home, and she will race in the Casual Breeze. So I think she's looking for some speed. I think she's looking for a little bit more. And you might say, well, she should be able to beat them. It's not fair. She's got to throttle back in every turn. She's like this track in the sense that we get the hobbles off her. She hasn't made a break without them. Oh, good. I just jinxed myself. But I think to get her over to Mohawk 7/8, and obviously she's raced there before and won there before. I think she'll like it. So that's where she's headed. So started off the night bad. Fourth with Tim's horse. Went with Crantini. What a shit show that was on my part. Here I have the best horse in the race. So driving 101. Now I know Aaron and those guys hate when you go a slow second quarter. There are horses. I have a vested interest in every horse I sit behind, a little more than the average catch driver, and I'm going to protect my horses when I can. If I can slide in, a little bit of a breather, I will. That was a little much. Here I have the fastest horse in the race, and what happens is when you go a half in 59 with a 53 trotter, you're allowing all the 55 trotters to level the playing field. You've now made it an even race for everybody. Chris Lems came quick. What I liked about Crantini was he started back up, and I made that. The first error was going a half in 59. The second error was allowing him to slide back into neutral in the last turn. I thought, I'm just going to rest him because I don't think the guy on my back can beat me. I'm just trying to take a look at the race, and I was sure the guy outside me wasn't beating me. Where are the other horses at? Just looked over my shoulder and I let him slide back into neutral for a step, and just that extra little bit to get him started back up cost me the race. So 2 critical errors in the race with Crantini, both unforced errors on my part, and I got him beat. Now, having said that, it's not the end of the world. He's got a stake race next week. And you know, usually when you leave the horse, and you leave the horse to get really hot and rattly at the gate, and then you try, like Austral Hanover was getting that way, where he's getting hot and a little wound at the gate. Now he's relaxed because we took him back a number of times. Crantini's the opposite. He doesn't get too worked up about anything now. I said to Tim, I think we can finally take that snake cord back off of him. You know, I like the way he started up down the backstretch. You know, I wish he had fought off the horse on the inside, but you can only ask so much. So I got Tim's horse beat, and I got Crantini beat. No two ways about it. That's on me. Horn Player got all she was going to get. Memory and Imagination, again, hit that elbow. It's still a little sore, a little tender. I know that if I leave out this time, knowing Brady Brown knows my horse can beat his horse or is as good as his horse. In my mind, I'm thinking that anyway. So I'm thinking I can keep going, put Ronnie in a bad spot, but what happens if he puts a step in and I get parked with this poor bugger again? You know what? Let's just play it safe. Drop in the 4-hole behind Drew Monty. Drew Monty's horse looks like a player in the race. It's early in their career, so it's hard to tell. He looks like a player. I know they're going to get going out of the backfield. If I can just stall them until the 5/8 and get Drew underway, it might work out. Ronnie blows the turn, clears to the front. I'm coming to the 5/8, and it's abundantly clear. I've kind of inched to the outside a couple of times, and Drew never even looked. Never even looked. He's not coming. Well, we won first over last week, 57-4. I don't know how fast Ronnie Wren's horse is, Ron Burke's horse on the front is, but I know ours is. So I let him idle up down the backstretch. He's still a little tender in the straights, but much better. Tim's crew did a great job on him. The elbow boots worked great. He did rub it a little raw, but didn't bother him at all because he was trotting as hard halfway down the lane as he was around the last turn. He raced great. I just didn't put him in the best spot. I should have recognized. Now, this is all in hindsight. I'm hard on myself too. The Tim thing, that's not hindsight. That was a screw up on my part. Horn Player, fine. Crantini, yeah, that's hindsight. When the half flashed up 59-2, I'm like, oh my God, wow. And then, in hindsight, that's why you get beat. It's on me. Same with Memory and Imagination. I couldn't go back to that point in time and say, okay, I'm going to push forward with this little horse. I'm going to push forward, force the issue on the front end, assume that Ronnie Wren is going to clear to the front. I'm going to sit in the 2-hole, and maybe I'll beat him. And when I'm pulling up, I'm thinking to myself, if I had got behind that horse, I beat him. But the horse was a little emptied out because I took the starch out of him in the last turn. It was behind him. I couldn't do that. So I don't think that's a little, to be honest, a little disrespectful to the horse, to both Ronnies, thinking I would have. But I think our horse is a player in that class. If we can get his confidence up, maybe not get parked the whole way or be out for 3/8 of a mile, maybe get a spot on the pylons and sit like Scott drove him. I think he is a player in that division. What a sweet horse he is, and he is going to be a really, really good horse for us. So again, swinging on third. Now we got a second with Crantini, fourth with Horn Player, third with Memory and Imagination. It was so nice to see Warwi Yuri go out. This horse that didn't race for 2 or 3 weeks, schooled once, nobody was in a hurry with him. And again, I do appreciate the patience of the people that own this horse, because I hope you've bought into what I've been selling in the sense that Warwi Yuri is going to be a nicer horse towards the end of his 3-year-old year and could be a real pivotal 4-year-old for us. The breeding is there. The mentality is there, the attitude is there, the work ethic is there. It's all been mechanics with him. He doesn't look like an athletic horse, but he's starting to. And he's starting to look like a nice horse on the track. A great job by Emily and Mario. The horse looked good. Austral Hanover, there was never going to be an audible called at the gate with Austral Hanover. I was going to take him back. He's got a stake race next week, and those Stallion Series points are vital for him and Tailgate Buzz next week. So that's why Buzz was taken back to the back. Austral Hanover the same. Finished up strong, was sharp as attack. He's just the sweet horse he always was. Always was. Just a really, really nice horse to drive. Probably the biggest surprise of the night, I think. Yeah, definitely the biggest surprise of the night. Vaquero Blue Chip, trotting in 56, looked good. I told everybody, this horse has got some pop to him. You know, you got to know him, right? It's not Dan Charlino's fault last week. He did what he could, given a horse that somehow wears tight hobbles and he's not really comfortable with him. He doesn't know him the way I know him, because we trained him down. I know the horse. I knew when I got to the lead with him. I'm watching in the TV. I don't want to go too slow. He's a sprinter, but I don't want to go too slow to fish Dave Pallone out early. I don't want to go too fast and be a sitting duck on the front end. And Dave's not stupid. He's like, he knew I was watching TV. As soon as I took my eyes off the TV and when I went by it, he must have started that horse up wide open because I was planning on resting him through the turn, and I knew he'd be coming, and I was going to give it to him. But instead, he gave it to me. And the horse, well, he's just a better horse. What do you want me to say? He's just a better horse. He cleared to the front and toyed with us. 1:55 in a piece. And there's Vaquero finishing second. Raced great, the best mile of his life. I thought the horse raced great. I got the chance to watch Blanton's Blue. Great job by my brother Mark. Did the right thing. Come hard. Looked like took a run at that horse. It looked like that horse was a killer. Listen, anytime you get Brian Sears to Saratoga, it's for a good reason. I don't know if that was the horse he was going there for. Brian Sears does not go to Saratoga. So that must have been a highly touted horse. Something in Saratoga today was a highly touted animal, and it may very well have been that one. Either way, Brian Sears does what Brian Sears does best and is a great driver. Won the race. Mark did a great job. So a great job by Megan and Mark with Blanton's Blue. Victory Blue Chip. I don't like this horse now. He's getting under my skin. You know, he won that race for Scotty in 58. He is an okay horse. He's not better than Vaquero Blue Chip. He's not better than, certainly not better than Activation. Who else do we got in the grassroots side? He's definitely not better than Memory and Imagination. He's in the Sire Stake. I just think I might test the waters with Victory Blue Chip. You know, he's a big, good-looking, strong colt. I think he's mentally immature, and he's not willing to put out the same way. Vaquero Blue Chip raced his ass off tonight. He did very, very good. Activation, lazy bugger, he won. He did what winners do. Memory and Imagination, tough again. Victory Blue Chip, just a horse. He's got that one Stallion Series win. He's potentially in line to make the final and do some good. He might pique the interest of somebody else out there. I just think he's behind the horses we have right now. Change of scenery, change of equipment shoeing, I don't know. I think we're probably just going to test the waters with this guy. I think he's an okay horse in a group of really good horses that we have. So, I'm going to sleep on it, but I think that's where my head's at right now with him. Absolute euphoria, race good. I thought coming around the last turn she was a winner. You moved her over. She was pacing again at the wire. Let me be clear. Everybody that has touched this filly has done a tremendous job. It started with Dominic Gladue in Ontario. Raced her. That line came. Was very diligent. Swam in the stall. Swam her. Rehabbed her back. You know, tinkered with her shoes. James did a great job hiding her, and everybody managed her well as she was getting through the spring, and her bones were starting to, you know, settle in. Grew up, you know, her knees filled in nice. She had those couple of good races at Mohawk, and then went down and given the chance to excel in Ohio. And Stacy and Brett have done a great job with her also. Obviously, the filly has been fantastic. If you'd have told me in April, hey, that filly in August is just going to get beaten 51. Sure, yeah, sounds great. I like that. And she did. She's going to have a bright future. I like this filly, and she's been racing great. Great job again by Stacy and Brett. Activation. So I get a look at the favorite going out, Crypto Cash. I think I like this horse in the sale. Something about his name rung in my head. I'm going to go back and look. Crypto Cash was the favorite. We're the second favorite. We're Rocky Balboa, right? Everybody says, oh, Activation, he's such a nice horse. No, he's not. He's just a good horse. He's a working man's horse, and he'll do what he can do. And that's it. Not a bit more. He's just, you know what he reminds me of? I say this a lot about a lot of horses. This horse is as close to the horse, yes, as I've ever seen in my life. Finds a softer division, gets fractions, the other favorites make a break. We come out of the first turn again. I'm not as good on the front, but I don't want to give the race to Ronnie Wren. And I'm thinking if he quarter poles to the front and I'm just a pushover and let him go, you get what you're given, right? How can I beat him? So I'm going 28 in a piece. I'm going to go half and 59. I look at the TV. I'm like, nobody's moving yet. It's not like him not to come. I thought he would. Oh, wait. Oh, he must have made a break. And as I get to the grandstand and well back, Crypto Cash. Now, I'm not a jerk. I don't like it when people's horses make breaks, but when the best way for me to beat them is for them not to be present, yeah, I got a little giddy. Right? I see it. All I should be able to do now is keep him advancing until he gets pressured, and then I can start him up, rough him up, and away we go. And that's how it worked. I had to chase him, and I had to work. He made me work for every inch of the track again, but winners win, and he got the job done. And regardless, good, bad, or otherwise. He's got 5 wins and 6 starts. No other 2-year-old we have has that. In fact, there's not a lot of 2-year-olds in North America that have 5 wins already this year. So activation, a great job by him again. My 1% made a break from the rail, and Dominic, he's down in the dumps. He takes his job so seriously, and Dominic is literally the same age as me. I've known him for 26 years now. We were best friends in Montreal, and I know he loves his job and he takes it to heart. And sometimes I lean on him too, right? And my 1% made the break from the rail. And I'm thinking, I'm like, come on, man. And that voice in my head, right? The opposition spoke up, said, excuse me, I don't know if you want to go watch Tim Twaddle's horse race in the earlier race there, jerk. But you did the exact same thing right there. I don't even know if Brett touched the gate or what happened with the horse, but he made a break from the rail on a half-mile track. I made a break from the rail on a 5/8 mile track. So really, I shouldn't be casting any stones. I can assure you of that. My 1%'s a nice colt, but he's still not perfect, right? The rail on a deep half-mile track, which Grand River, I can't say that it is. I haven't raced there a lot this year, but historically, since they opened the doors, it's been a deep track. Deep half-mile track from the rail, yeah. I'm not super shocked he made a break at all. And it's not Dominic's fault. It's not Brett's fault. Not even the horse's fault. It's just circumstances. He made a break, turn the page. That one's over. It's not shocking. Rail, let's not leave the rail with my 1%. If we can not do that for a while, that'd be awesome. I'm going to tune in now and watch JK Victory, Kings County, Swinging Senorita. Probably give you a little recap tomorrow morning. I almost didn't do my videos tonight. I almost didn't do this video for you tonight because I wanted to go and have a bite to eat and have a drink and relax. But I said, there's going to be a lot of people home wanting to know what I thought of tonight. The driver in me thinks I did a shitty job. A mediocre, okay job. Enough to get by where somebody said, geez, Anthony, you had a great night. You had a fourth with Horn Player. You had a second with Crantini. Right? I jumped over Irresistible Sun, by the way. Horse race great. I thought the horse race good. Finished 4th. Got all he was going to get. Got passed by a horse that maybe shouldn't down the lane. I am going to make a little announcement. The vet, I told you guys in a video the other day, the vet said one of his testicles was bothering him, he thought, and we were looking for that gap to maybe castrate him. He's the sweetest horse in the world. But if Dr. Latessa believes it is in his best interest to castrate this horse, we probably will tomorrow. And that's because we have 14 days before his next stake race. I don't want to. I like the horse. He's never given anybody any reason to castrate him. But medically speaking, the veterinarian said, Anthony, my concern is you could be going into a stake race. If that testicle gets twisted and it fills up and it bothers them or it ruptures or whatever the hell they do, one, you could lose the horse, but you're going to lose time. Why don't you pick a time that is beneficial to you, right, that doesn't affect the colt that bad, and castrate him rather than him picking it for you. He's right. So we'll probably castrate Irresistible Sun tomorrow. Medically speaking, we should. So that'll be up to the vet. So again, Horn Player 4th, Crantini 4th, Irresistible Sun 4th, 2nd, 4th. Remembering Imagination race, fantastic 3rd. I can't help but saying, geez, could have been a little easier on him, but I don't really think that's fair to me, I guess. I'm trying to drive him as careful as I can and be as nice to him as I can. I couldn't fish out cover. I had to move when I did. I still did want to win the race. I think the winning move, or at least the move that would have garnered me second potentially, would have been to let him scoot off the car. But again, that is in hindsight. Warwick Yuri was great. Austral Hanover raced great again. Vaquero Blue Chip, the surprise of the night. He'll get the gold star tonight. He raced great. Blanton's Blue was good. Victory Blue Chip was not. Absolute Euphoria was 3rd. Great race from her activation. Stole the show again. Saved the whole night so far. Him and Warwick Yuri. You need those 4th liners sometimes. Got to put the puck in the net. Not that activation is, but he's easy to pick on because he's a lazy bugger. And Warwick Yuri is too. The 2 lazy ones were the winners tonight. My 1% make the break. Turn the page. Didn't happen. It's done with. We got 3 left. JK Victory, Kings County, Swinging Senorita. Good luck to everybody involved.